I think it says.
If I can kill this.
So another thing too, Evan, what I was thinking about on that spring, because I swore I could have sworn in that one video when I heard you run it towards the top, I thought I heard a little bit of a spring chatter. And so that's another reason too. You might want to, it's amazing over the years, like this isn't probably that big a deal, but I've learned that if you spray oil, even if you maybe mess something up a little bit, oil will take care of it for almost about a year or two, maybe.
Oil, friend.
Yeah, oil does a lot. I mean,
I just got the 3-in-1 stuff. That's what I got to carry in my bag now. The 3-in-1 garage door lube.
Yep. Just something. Even WD if you're worst case,
WD don't stain. You can spray it on the painted wall and you don't piss off the customer.
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
And another annoying thing with this job was the drywall because everything was slotted to fit. So if I had to slide my drums over, it kept catching the drywall.
Oh yeah, we should have that one's
so
a little bit.
I kept having to cut drywall just to get stuff in the right place.
Well, that sounds you needed to put a 1x4 in there. You should have built it out.
Yeah.
If you're running.
Yeah, I was just putting stuff back in where the old hardware was sitting, but yeah, you can see in that picture if you zoom in, everything's slotted for the drums to move, and that's it to try and kind of hide it, I guess.
Yeah, I thought those 2x4s were sticking out. I didn't know they were sunk in, so that's kind of a bear.
Yeah, you might be able to see it better in one of the other pictures where you can see the opener bracket. It's kind of hidden.
Opener bracket. We'll see if we can find it. Like I said, in here,
a picture of one with the new UFO installed, but yeah, the old opener, it was like pitched upwards. So when I went to go open the door the first time before we took the old opener down, it was rubbing against the door.
Oh,
yeah, this opener,
Yep, that older one. I never seen one that said that was a Steelcraft.
Yeah, it was a Steelcraft LiftMaster.
Huh.
I think they were popular in like late 80s to the early 2000s.
So it's basically it's a LiftMaster Chamberlain. I mean, it's
pretty much doorbell button. I think these ones had 3-button remotes for some reason.
Oh, very interesting.
But yeah, one door had the older style sensors with the screw-in brackets. The other door has the clip-on sensors for some reason, even though they were exact same.
Somebody got late.
Yeah, well, other door, they're both 8-foot doors, but one door has an 8-foot opener, and the other door has a 7-foot operator, and it runs all the way to the bolt.
Oh, sure. I got a question on this. Was that door? Was there any damage, or was this how the vendor?
That's how the vendor delivered it.
Okay. I was looking at the tire tracks. I mean, I was thinking that's some old school snow tires or something on that thing. That's the tracks on that baby.
That would have been the customer's truck or the flatbed truck that they would have delivered it with.
Gotcha. But no damage on the door. Everything was no dings, no dents, no creases.
Nothing that I could notice.
Nice. Rich B's guy got private label Chamberlain on there. What's up, guys? By the way, we're just kind of running through pictures.
You guys can see the pictures.
Yeah, you got to probably have like another video. Can you see him at all, Tony, or is it
see any pictures? I just see
how are you doing it, Evan?
How am I doing what?
Oh, because you're on the computer, probably.
Yeah, I'm on the computer. I've got the phone out to read comments.
He's got
the bell. That's too old for the current YouTube app.
He's got some.
So wait a minute here. What am I?
Go get your TV out in the back there.
I will. Hang on, man.
It's all good. Let's see what else we got here. So we got this one.
Yeah, that's the old door. Apparently, it's the same model door that we put in, but they changed it from a 5 to a 4 section door.
Oh.
But they're both a 1-inch Steelcraft T12, just like 25, 30 years apart.
Gotcha. It's kind of weird to me because the hinges in the center look like they remind me of overhead. They got little, center.
I've heard people say that they're the exact same thing, but I don't know. They have their own different factories, but apparently they're like similar doors, apparently.
And I've never seen that strut set up. I'm still trying to.
This one, I think on the old door, it wasn't done right because it seemed very loose because I had to force that door down the opener to get the door closed. And then, yeah, it didn't go back into place properly. So I think the tension on that strut was compromised, I think, on that old door.
Gotcha. Well, let's check out some. We got the opener here. Already seen that one. We'll check out what this one is. It's half stacked.
Yeah, that was what first day we just got it stacked more or less. And I think our verticals started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does now that sawhorse, did you end up putting something on it so you wouldn't scratch the door?
No, I don't think.
No.
What?
Give him crap, Tony. Give him crap.
What? Come on, now.
Fired.
What was I supposed to put? Wood blocks?
That foam, the cardboard.
I mean, we might have put some cardboard. I honestly
Old
don't
carpet.
remember.
Old carpet, that works too.
Paper towel.
Yeah. You got to use your underwear or socks. You do something.
Yeah.
No, my boss, he would say, don't set my door on there. Don't set my door like that. So, yeah. You don't want to scratch it.
Yeah, that stuff is pretty aggressive. Let's see what this one is too. I think this is another one.
I think, yeah, same picture, different angle, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't worry, that door is not stacked on the floor. There's cardboard underneath it.
Oh.
Yeah, level on there. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have to the operator line it up with the strut or the hinge?
For the mounting bracket?
Well, I noticed the operator, it looks like you don't have it lined up with the hinges. Normally you line up the operator with the hinges.
This one was different, just the way they're spaced out. Because even for the book for the operator bracket, it says if there's no hinge to mount to, don't worry about it.
Oh, really? So you mounted in the center? It still had a mounting point?
Should be another picture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They just kind of hit the sandwich of it, I think.
Yeah, it was still in the center, but yeah, there was no center hinges. Just the way they had theirs in the book we were following.
I'll show you a picture here.
Yeah, I can see where it's like the square hinge.
Finished installed. We got it all sealed correctly. Got a new opener for this customer. They got a awesome belt drive. It's nice and quiet. We set our springs correctly, so I think I might have took a couple turns off and forgot to put them back on after doing those cables, but it's not terribly heavy. Door is functioning good. I'm not that tall.
Now, question.
Yeah.
When you wind a spring up, the door stay in 3 spots.
Got it sealing the door.
It should stay a foot high off of the floor, halfway, and then at the top.
It did initially, but I think I forgot to, because we took a couple turns off trying to get that gap situated, and I think we might have forgotten to put an extra turn back on.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking. Especially if you put, I don't know if you replace the opener, but if you don't balance the door, that opener out. And I'm just beating you up because you're a new guy. I just want you to learn. I'm trying not to be hard on you.
Yeah.
It looks good. Sounded good. What about those the adjuster thing you were talking about?
Dave, did you get that picture?
We talking about the top strut there?
Yeah, the one I drew.
So we just got finished with the install of the new door and the new belt drive. I just thought I would show the.
I'll see if I can find it here.
Yeah, I drew like a little arrow to show.
I don't think I put that one on. I just had the picture. I know what you're talking about. But I did not put that on there. This is the old one.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Look old.
Find it here.
Yeah, that one's old.
Yeah, it's the old one.
Okay, is that the old door or the new door? No,
that's the old one.
Yeah, you can see the little gap in the bottom section where it's completely bent.
Smucked.
How did that not get over here on the iPad?
I love is it drone FPV says the AMARs come pre-scratched. Love it. Right from the factory. That's always good.
Oh, there it is.
I'll see how it looks on your end. This will be great.
Can you see the little teeth there?
Yeah, I'm looking at like a 1-inch little tiny.
Oh, you're okay. Let me see if I can bring him up by chance. I think he's got to move it up a little. Oh yeah, well now we can kind of see it.
Yeah, see the little slotted sections there?
Oh yeah. Yep, little grooves in it. I see like 5 of them.
Yeah, I think there might be like 8 in total, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's like a piece of metal that you it's just like a flat piece of metal. I don't know how we were supposed to bend them. We reused the old ones from the old door because we didn't have like a what was it? Something to bend it over with.
And that has something to do with the tension.
I think that's because you tension that that actual strap part. So
I know it seems kind of interesting.
Flimsy to like I'm trying to describe it. It's like you'll notice the difference depending on how you slot it, and on the end of the section of each section there's two of the self tappers. You put one I think closer to the edge of the door on first, then you set it, then you add the extra 2 self tappers I think at the end once you got it situated, I think is how it went.
Yeah, you should have made a video. Did you have a video of it when you were?
No, because because it wasn't in the actual book. It was just like a little slip of paper we found later.
Of course, a little.
Yeah, like we already had the door stacked. I'm like, dang it. Because it said to do it on the sawhorses, then stand it up. And we're like, we'll just figure out how to put it on.
Can you get struts in Canada? I mean, can you find them at like the Home Depots or whatever? You know, can you find 16-foot struts?
I'm not sure. I'd probably just garage door places because I haven't seen them at Home Depots or nothing. And I normally walk down the garage door section a few times.
Because I'm trying to think. I've seen some weather seal hit and miss at like Lowe's and stuff, but I thought I might have seen 16-footers at Menards, but I know you don't have a Menards up there, but
no,
I feel like I've seen them, but I don't know. This doesn't make me feel too comfortable. I don't know. I can kind of see one way, but the other way makes me wonder how that works.
Well, you can get your others like your Clopays and your Wayne Dalton 8000 series with struts and all that.
Right. I just don't know if it's better or worse, or what's the pros or the cons. I've thought about it a few times, not tremendously, but I think about it in my head and I go, I can see one way, maybe the force, the strap, but I guess both ways I kind of just go, I just,
I don't know. You don't see too many of them with like compromised top section, so it must be doing something.
Right.
It's a fairly common door brand anywhere I've ever lived.
Okay. And then would you want a second strut on that one, Tony, or you okay with just the one at the top?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Being an 8-foot. Yeah. As long as the door's balanced good.
Yeah.
I'd be comfortable with it because the strut to me is just strengthening it for that operator pull and push.
Right. What about the center though? I mean, sometimes I like them for the center to keep the belly from ever happening. I don't think that's
not anything.
I mean, when I watched the door, it didn't belly much, so I don't think that's going to be a problem.
I never think the bottom 2 panels need a strut, but the other 3, at least halfway would not hurt.
But a strut wouldn't have fixed that old door, right?
No.
Well,
if it was hit from the outside, maybe though.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't have.
What's the gap about? Is it just because it's separated there? Or?
Well, when we took that old door to the dump, that bottom section was just completely bent.
Yeah. Okay, they probably brought it down on something.
Well, the story I heard from the lady was that she went to back out of the garage and backed into it. Yeah, you could see the damage there.
Play it again. Just see it in the corner barely.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, kind of delaying.
Yeah, it's pretty old. It's time for it to.
Yeah.
And if you look over in that corner where we're looking at right now, something jaggedy going on over there too.
Wait, like what?
It's like that. The sections look like offset a little bit. Some reason.
Yeah, that's how badly they were damaged.
Oh dang!
See,
I'm glad you replaced it.
Yeah. Well, even to get new sections, I wasn't even going to be guaranteed that they'd be for this door because it's the same model as the new door, but it's a 5-section and not that's a 5-section. The new doors are 4 sections now.
Right.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah, customers happy. They're like, this new opener is so quiet.
That's great. That is great. Let's see here.
That's what you want, a happy customer. As long as they're happy, it's all that matters.
And I was expecting to get metal rollers in the box because the manual said that you either expect metal or nylon rollers. So I was surprised to open the box and see that there was white nylon rollers in there.
Oh, nice. That is nice.
Because I think I was quoted for the metal rollers because I think it would have been somewhat extra if I asked for nylon.
Yeah. You got the guy that grabbed the wrong box throwing it on there.
Yeah, I felt like being a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the guy at the store just threw it in for me because I sort of knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rich is on here. He's saying something too. He says it thinks that's goofy. He says the door bows, in the wrong direction with that strut, or that brace. So
yeah,
just something to keep an eye on.
I think that mark in the middle is the opener rail rubbing against it for 30, 25 years.
Oh yeah,
stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
Or somebody oiling it and it's dripping.
Because the opener was had a pitch like this up. Yeah, it was pitched upwards like this.
Okay.
So yeah, as soon as you lift the door open, it's rubbing against the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're taking this down. We're not even gonna bother hooking this up.
Let's see here. I'll do a few more of this. Just
a belt drive and your traditional chain drive in the terms of noise level. We'll run the chain drive first and show you how loud that is.
I'm guessing that's a loud end bearing plate because that was plastic rollers on that door.
A little bit more noise there. Now here is the belt drive.
Yep. Sounds like a belt, that hum.
Yeah. Nice and quiet, wouldn't you say so?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta get you. We gotta help Dad out with this this winding springs. I see this a lot.
Yeah, Rusty gave me a comment about that. I think I kind of wind them like that too. So yeah, I need to change how I do it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We always appreciate the dad's help.
Oh yeah, be careful, Dad.
Yeah, like I said, you can see that. Never like to let it rest. It's just overhand going. Maybe he needs a Surewinder.
Tony, any more used Surewinders?
Yeah, you need a Surewinder for sure. Slap that baby on there. Your dad, like, heck yeah, son. I'll help you install a door in. Yeah, I'm winding that spring.
I don't know. With tariffs, they might be even more costly.
Oh man, that's great. I think this is an older
money.
one.
I'll get you one.
Was that before or after I flipped my end bearing plates? Because I had them on backwards.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I looked at because it was like reading an IKEA manual. Like, which side is this facing?
What's that bearing plate?
I'll play it again. Right there. We just had a screen. I don't know if I can freeze it.
That was where I had it on backwards.
I can almost freeze it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's crazy. Look how they do that little Phillips screw. That's weird.
Well, it's like the normal recessed screw, but that's how they do it.
Interesting.
But yeah, first day I broke my screwdriver trying to take one of those out of the horizontal track because the washer just wouldn't come loose. We had to cut it off.
Dang.
You need to get you a grinder.
I think we used like a hacksaw, I think, to get it off.
Yeah, a grinder. Take that tip off, smack it with a hammer. It's like I told my guy, whatever you need to do. If you got to drill something out, a pop rivet, put a bolt in it, do it. You know, make it user friendly. The next year.
See how the seal pushed through?
Yeah, and I had to drill new holes in the horizontal track because they didn't line up with the.
Oh, there's your other tape
brackets on the
measure.
ceiling.
I just brought it back.
Okay.
See, recalibrating the tape measure on that one.
Which clip is this?
This is leveling it out here.
Yeah, I've got a few leveling clips. I don't know why I took so many clips of leveling the door.
See how the seal pushed through?
Yeah. Oh, there's your other tape measure.
I just brought it back.
Okay.
Gravity.
Yeah.
What is we already show? I think this one here too. I think.
That's the one of the first ones I took.
You know. No, it's good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, great customer. Brought us coffee every day. Donuts the first day.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, good.
How many? Wait a minute. The first day. How many days did it take you?
I think 3 to actually get the door functioning because it took 2 to get the door installed, and then the one day we had to put the opener in, and then Saturday it was getting rid of the gap.
You're fired, Evan. Fired.
You got to remember, this is after work. This is after work. It wasn't a full day.
Yeah, no, this was like from 3:10 to 4 till like 9:30 at night.
Yeah. I get it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
You're better. You'll learn.
Yeah.
What's up with this weather seal? How'd they have this pinned on? It looks like
It was
screws or
just
something.
screwed in. New stuff was the same way.
Huh.
But yeah, it took us till Saturday to get rid of this gap that Tanner said couldn't be done.
I don't think Tanner's on here. I was hoping to.
I was hoping too.
Start a little fight, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe about gasoline or diesel trucks or something, you know, or gaps on doors.
What gap? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Here, let me bring it back up.
I don't think I got that one on here.
I gotta look at the bigger picture because the one's like half.
He had a heck of a gap on there. I'll see if I can pop him up
that
here.
floor was so unlevel.
Look at that bad boy.
Oh,
That's a huge gap.
How far does it go across?
And it was just the one side, the one right side of the door.
Okay. Now, Evan, when you level your door, let me look here, see if I have a drum.
We shimmed it and all that just to get it level.
Well, I'm talking
airbags.
When I talk level, I mean I'm talking the wire, the drums. I'm not talking actual level as the door sitting in the hole. When I'm leveling a door to make it to go up and down, right?
Yeah.
What I do is I call it the hookup on the drum where the cable hooks in there. Make sure those hookups are in the same spot. Say like on the left side, you turn it and it's at, we'll say 7 o'clock. Okay. As you're looking at a clock, your hookup's at 7 o'clock. So on the other side, you want it to be at 4, which would be just like a clock turned around backwards.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? Those hookups that once those are in, and your cables can be loose, all right, from one side to the other, as long as your drums and your shaft is level, your door will balance out.
Yeah.
It'll level itself.
Yeah. Well, we also noticed this on the Saturday. We undid the springs because the shaft wasn't sticking out enough on the right side, so we had to fix that. So I think that was why the door got heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to split that, make sure that's centered.
Yeah.
You don't want it walking out of the bearing.
Yeah. I think it was just in there and we didn't notice.
That's too close for comfort.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing to cut off if they wanted to put a jack shaft on there.
Oh, yeah.
I think they just have enough shaft. I think it was not that big for some reason.
Now I see the level a lot, so I'm wondering: are you trying to are you thinking you got to level every section?
That's what every video we watched did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us how you do it, Tony.
I don't use a level.
What?
I don't use a level.
What do you use? Your whiskers?
Yep. No, good eye. No shit. I'm telling you, I go by I'll have somebody stand back there, make sure my bar by eye is level. And if your track's not in there, you can tell by how your cable loosens up. One cable will be looser than the other if your track's not level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember we were checking all that, make sure it was
So
level. I sent a picture of that.
Using a level, no. I can get 2 panels in. I can kind of step back and look and say, okay, I need to shim this side up, so I'll shim it. And you can also tell once you put your tracks in. I always put my tracks in first. I put my bottom panel in first, then I put my tracks in. And they're just in there. They're not set. They're just in. Then I'll put my panels in, and I can tell as my door goes up on my gap of my roller if I'm level, if I need to shim up one side or the other. I don't the level anymore. I haven't for a long time. I break. They get broke in the van or truck. I throw something on them, and who knows if they're even true. So
Yeah,
anymore, I work with a lot of effed up floors. So I go by eye. And again, if you put one track in and then you come over to this side and you put that track in, you get up and put your shaft in, you'll know if that's not level. That bearing, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, shit. Then you have to lift the one side up and square it up. You don't need a level. You don't need.
I don't need a 78-inch level.
Not that. A 2-footer would work.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, you might need a level now being a new guy, but no, as you get good at it, you'll figure it out. Things won't fit right. They just won't. They won't. You'll see it. Your cable will be loose on one side. You'll know, oh, I'm not square in the hole. Then you have to loosen all your track, put your shoulder into it, lift it up, and reset it. It's simple.
I think I was trying to show the bad angle on that old opener in this clip, but I don't think it showed up too well on the camera.
Gotcha.
Open down.
Because the motor was mounted really low. We had to we had to raise the motor, the new motor when we put the new motor in.
You definitely want that. You definitely want that level with the door. You don't have to be 6 inches higher. You can be a couple inches higher.
You ever see it, Tony, though? Some people, like the one we did, it had 15-inch radius. And they'll actually, I've done it actually, where I make it a sag in the back because the J-bar wants to jump over the door because something's just kittywampus. If it's screaming high.
Where the third roller will go to the top of the track, you're talking?
I've seen that, but I've had it before where the door's been hit, so it's not in the best shape, and you're trying to make it work the best you can, but it's got weird buckles in it, maybe, and like the J arm will actually, on the trolley want to pass the door, and if it does, it'll put pressure down on that top panel. You know, a lot of times it happens if you got a weak top panel, which I've had many a times where, you know, the top panel's kind of destroyed. You know, maybe it's an 18-foot wide door and you only got a 2-inch strut. So you put a strut on it, and that, you know, that as the opener's lugging along, it'll try to jump over it, and it's on the wrong side and, you know, destroy things.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to level it, you know, and sometimes, you know, I'll think that I'm level and I get down and it's like,
that's way off.
I could have had one more hole. I could have took off one more hole. I would never leave it like that.
Yeah.
I would try to at least straighten it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you only be, you know, your operator arm, my opinion, only needs to be 2 inches above your operator or your center bracket, or your, you know, just so you're not rubbing on your springs.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They don't have to be way up there.
I've done it different ways. You know, if I'm by myself, I handle situations differently. So sometimes I move that bracket up a little higher so I can keep that opener pivoted, you know, on the ground. I'll put like a piece of cardboard or something under it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in desperate situations, you know, and you're working by yourself.
That's why you need that rope system I got.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very
Tony,
true.
you said operator bracket. Did you mean header bracket from hitting the spring?
Your operator bracket, I'm talking the bracket that you mount the rail.
The nose.
Yeah, that's your header. I was confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
The nose bracket.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just clarifying because normally, the operator is where your J arm mounts to.
Yeah, true. True.
So on that centerpiece, let me see. Does that center hook does that, you know, you got the bracket across the top there, that strap. Does that touch that operator bracket at all? Or mount to it?
Where on the opener mount?
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I got a picture of it, but I was trying to think like this one. Let's see. Like that, I'm assuming you took that strap off the brackets up there.
We left the old strap on. We just took the 2 plates to clip in because we didn't know how to bend the new ones.
So that strap was like that?
I think that was for me trying to push it down. It came undone like that.
Oh, okay.
When the customer first called me out after they hit the door.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the opener couldn't get the door closed because the bottom wheels kept wanting to pop out.
Gotcha. We also need I noticed on the new door there's no stickers. You gotta get some stickers made when you get a chance.
The one sticker was my mom and pop shop competitor, so I was thanks, assholes.
I'd have popped that thing right off.
Yep. 2 springs. Oh, I see when you're winding them too. Are you counting holes instead of like I put a line across it? I don't know how Tony, you count holes or do you put a line across it?
I count when I put my like once my 1 bar is up, I count when I'm putting the next bar in the bottom.
Well,
how do you do it, Tony?
I'm in the 20th century here. I use a winder.
Oh, jeez.
I count every time the hookup goes by.
Where's the delete button here?
Which is less than a minute. Which is less than a minute. And I go, oh, there's 7. And I go by a little bit, tighten it down, back it up, and I'm done. No,
so
put them on.
Let's just say you're not rich and you're just starting out. Would you put a line on it or are you counting holes?
Line's good. A line, because if you're talking to a customer and you're like, turn your head and you're like, oh shoot, was I at 4 or 3?
Yep.
Then you can go back.
Yeah, but, just like, don't talk to me. I'm winding springs.
Yeah, my springs from Service Springs come with a line on it, so that's not.
Yeah, I think these were just plain springs. I don't think there was nothing on them.
Yeah, it is good to mark them. Yesterday, we changed out some drums on an old door, and I had him unwind the spring, and he goes, well, how do I know when I've got enough tension on it? We didn't do anything. I didn't count anything. I said, well, look at it. They had a dust mark and you could see the swirl around it. He goes, I see that swirl. I said, as you take that Surewinder and wind it up, that swirl is going to go straight again. When that swirl is straight, you've got the tension you had on the door. And all it was a dust mark.
Right. Right.
So you can follow that. And it was just a dust mark.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So that weather seal you put on wasn't the same kind, was it?
I think it was like the same idea, but new stuff, I think.
Huh. Because there's something
Less
funny
yellowed.
looked about like this stuff. It looks different than what we have for some reason.
It's packaged in there with the torsion tube.
And with the torsion tube, huh? It was flat stuff then, right? Flat stock.
Yeah, that we just had to cut.
Do you think about ever putting it on with a trim nailer?
Maybe. I don't know. I think it came with bolts to screw in.
Huh.
What?
Or to drill in or whatever.
Hey, it's caveman stuff up there, okay? It's
You have to come visit you.
We also don't cock it either.
I don't cock nothing.
Yeah.
I'm on a cock gun for nothing.
No.
I get it all over me. I'll be driving like, what? How'd I get it here?
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh man. So many things. So many things.
Yeah, I need to get a step bit now because with the horizontal tracks, the brackets on the ceiling didn't line up, and we didn't feel like moving them because everything's carved out from the drywall.
Oh.
So we just drilled new holes in the track. But I need to get a step bit because the customer's like, "Hey, you need stuff?" And I was like, "Sorry."
Right. What'd you end up doing with the old door? I think I just seen it in a clip. It was cut up. So you must have. Did you take it somewhere?
We took it to the dump. I don't think I took pictures when we had a trailer and we took it to the dump, and then we came back with that Kia.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have a hitch yet put on my vehicle.
Sure. You can't take it to scrap or didn't want to or just.
I don't think that from what I've looked, there's nothing in town.
Oh.
I didn't feel like going a half hour just to drop off scrap.
Yeah, no. I get that. Sometimes they frown on it. Some people don't care.
It only cost me $7 to dump it.
Oh, geez. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I think if I had another door, I think it would have been like $110. I think just the way they calculate the weight of the vehicle, I think.
Yep. Tony, what do you think about, how do you feel on the pull cords? Do you try to keep them above the header? Don't care? Just put them wherever?
I keep about the length of the J arm.
Yeah. I just use the 7-foot rope. I didn't use what came in the extension kit.
Oh.
And I also look at what they're driving.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a man one time get in his minivan and shut the red cord while I was standing there and started backing out and started to rip the operator out the ceiling.
Oh.
I was like, stop.
Right.
So the cord is never that long. If the person's short, it all depends on what they're driving. You know? And then I'll make them aware of it. Hey, this is long. If you get a minivan, you want to. I've seen some bad things happen right when I was standing there.
Oof.
I've been there when people have shut them in and backed out and they pulled their operator down.
Yep.
So,
I seen a commercial one get ripped down. So I learned from my vendor, the guy that I always talk about, that his dad ran the business. Now he just sells stuff. And he always told me, I never understood it when he first told me. He goes, never below the header. And I was like, what does that mean? Whatever. And then when I, about a year later, I had a commercial job. I left it long because their opener kept breaking. It was on a car wash. And sure enough, I caught an SUV, I think it was a Chevy Trailblazer, ripped 3/4 of the door down. And of course it was Thanksgiving Eve, so I had to go up there and fix the door. So I'm kind of more now like, it's never normally long enough, unless, like I said, the situation, old lady, whatever. But sometimes I don't have vehicles there. So I just normally now I haven't had any calls on it where when I make it just the header, I haven't had any calls that somebody says, hey, this is a problem. It's just, well, you got to get a step stool. You got to get a ladder. I'm sorry, but I don't want to rip your door down.
Well, this door has a battery backup, so they shouldn't need to pull that cord.
True.
LiftMaster comes with, a cord, I don't know, we'll say 3 foot long. I cut it in half.
There you go.
Is basically what it ends up being.
Nice. And then did this door come with any stickers? I'm just curious. Did it come with any warranty stickers or anything?
I don't think that just the only sticker on the door is the Steelcraft, Thermocraft in the bottom right corner, bottom section. I think just that sticker, I think.
Sure.
And then I didn't bother putting the stickers that came with the opener.
Oh, right.
Because most people don't want that safety label by their buttons and stuff.
Yeah, I don't do that. But I put Invicta stickers on that, like down by the bottom brackets. They have one for each site, tells you not to take them off. And then I have one that goes in the center telling you that's your area where you mount your operator to or whatever. I never used to when I worked for somebody, but now that it's my business, I put them on.
Did it come with a slide lock?
I think there was it wasn't like your normal cutout. It was like a little slit you could punch out, but no, there was no lock. It came with a lift handle though that I didn't put on.
Nah. What kind was it? Was it plastic, metal?
I'm pretty sure it was like a skimpy metal one.
Oh,
an inside handle, lift
probably.
Handle. Yeah, I put those on the inside lift handles. One, I don't put like multiple.
I think there's 2 on my door, I think, just on the sides.
Yeah, something to grab a hold of. And
yeah, I think this one just came with 1, I think.
If there's a slide lock on the door that I've taken out, I always transfer that one to the new door. If it's in good shape. If it's bad, I'll replace it.
Yeah, unless you don't have an opener on your door, you don't see too many side locks here.
To not have them.
Yeah, I just vice gripped it closed the day we didn't have nothing hooked up to it.
It is good for business though to put a slide lock on it when it does have an operator, because people will lock them and run it, and it keeps you employed.
That's going to be an honest answer. When the opener's not working, it gives the customer confidence or security.
That's why you put it on.
Yeah.
You put it on for that reason. But then they'll lock it when they go away for the weekend and forget they locked it, and it always tears something up.
Yeah, they'll have their force cranked.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I wanted to see if we could get in more on close on that weather seal, because that is not normal for around here.
I think that was part of the damage. I think is why it's warped in that old clip.
That is weird.
Because on the one side, it was really bad.
You see that picture, Tony? That's not our kind of weather seal.
That's like that is.
It's like half siding, half rubber. It's like it's just weird.
That is weird.
I mean, I thought I kept seeing something somewhere. I thought that's some weird looking weather seal.
It almost looks like
on new houses, it's on the framing, it's metal, not wood.
How much coverage? An inch? Will it cover an inch of the door out? It looks like it sticks out quite a bit.
Well, this stuff is screwed up because this is the old door. Because I know the one side had a big gaping gap in it. The other side.
Screws in it too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean, I would think. Did you screw the new?
Yeah, it came with a new set of screws.
Oh yeah, I see the gap. That's a nice gap right there.
That is weird. That is so weird, that weather seal. That is so foreign. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of crown mold. Kind of like a
That's metal, isn't it? Evan, that's metal, right?
yeah, it looks metal.
Yeah, it was some metal plastic kind of thing.
Huh. Could
Don't
you
look
imagine
like
trying to
our
cut that?
2 1/4 inch.
I'm trying to remember what did we cut it with?
Axle.
Yeah, I think that's what we ended up using because that's all we had.
Yeah.
Well, this door is hit. Something's going on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you back a Porsche into a 16x8 door.
Dang.
Well, it looks like it's D-lamming. It looks like the two panels are separating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would have done, Evan, if you wanted to fix that just to get them by, I call it a Band-Aid, I would have through bolted it.
Yeah, you could do that.
I'd have ran bolts in a couple spots, like where the hinges were, pull out one of the tech screws and then ran a drill bit through it and then through bolted it to pull that skin back together. That's what it looks like to me. The bottom, that skin's a little bit thicker. Yeah. Separated, like it had separated. The two skins had delammed.
Yeah. Well, it looks like from that clip, it looks like 3 sections are screwed up.
Right.
So you only counted 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got that many, I'd say, hey, you need a new door. But I can put a Band-Aid on it until you get. That's what I usually do. If they want to run it, try to keep them from running it, but that's a way to, at least get them by.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't run it without because the tracks weren't really that bad, but the bottom rollers kept popping out. So I was like, yeah, don't run this.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably torqued pretty good then.
Yeah, I should have took pictures of the Porsche because it was still marked when we went and put this new door in.
Ooh.
Just on the top roof, you can see all these white marks.
Ooh. Not good. So we got level.
To me, my renters, people that landlords and stuff, they would want something like that fixed.
True.
I would add struts. I would have through bolted it in a few spots. I've had doors where they were completely wrinkled up and I laid them out flat on the floor and walked them out and then hung them, thrown a couple struts on them. So, I mean, you can pretty much make anything work.
Yeah.
With some
if there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. That's right. If they don't want to spend the money, but they'll give you $500 to fix it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I understand that too because, having rentals and stuff. The thing is the tenant's going to hit it again.
Right there with them, man. I tell them, I want to spend a new door. Let me fix it. Come on, he's just going to hit it again. He's got a drinking problem.
Exactly.
But that's usually my renters.
Same here. Same here.
Partying,
Yeah. They don't care. It's not theirs. Use and abuse it.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, not too many rentals here have garages.
Probably for that reason.
Yeah.
It's either apartments or duplex or multiplexes.
Yeah. You got a way to kind of go through some of those comments, Evan?
Just on my phone.
I was checking you out. See if anybody.
I lost my place.
I don't even see any comments. It's all pictures. There's us 3 on the side and a garage door in the middle.
Well, I have my phone for it.
Yeah, I can see them, but I can see on my phone too if I have to. Just wanted to make sure we were catching up with anybody had something. I seen their bebopping in there with some stuff.
There. I posted on mine that we were having a live tonight on your channel.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't know what time, so I didn't put a time, but I posted that we were doing this.
So Tony, I'm thinking, well, Evan's checking out some of those comments. You always talk about you put your track together and then put it up. You put your vertical and your horizontal together.
Yeah, we nailed it.
Oh, we nailed it.
I put my bearing plate on there too.
But yours a riveted track, right?
I don't care if it's riveted or it's a clopay that I had to build, even put the angle on the horizontal. I put it all together. What I do is I lay my door out. I don't unpackage it. First thing is I put my track together. I use my package door as my table. I put a ladder behind me and I run my verticals there, put on my flag bracket. Like if it's a Menards door, you have to put, as you know, Dave, you have to put your vertical track mounts on it, your little L brackets, your flag bracket. You have to put the angle on the horizontal track. I do all that. I put everything together. And then I carry it in the garage and set it up against the wall. And then I go out and I panel all my doors, put all my hinges and rollers, cable on my bottom. I put that all on. And then I carry my top one in, put my top one in first in the garage. And I bring my third one in, put my second one in. And then I take the first one and I put it in the hole. Then I go over to the left side and I grab my left track and I take it and I put it in place because my rollers are already in. The two rollers, the bottom roller and the first hinge, I put it in place. I have a magnetic bit, so I've got my lag already in there. And I lag the very top of the very bottom of the flag. I push up and I run that one in first. That holds this up out of the way, and then I put another one in. Then I come back, and then I'll put my second one on my flag. Go to the other side, repeat it. Do the same thing. And then I just start, when I do my panels, I leave one end off of the hinges.
Oh.
And I look at my garage, how the garage is positioned, knowing how I'm going to put the panel in. So that's the hinge I set over by wherever the panel is going to end up. It'll have the rollers already in the hinge. So then when I put the panel in, I bring it over here, set it in the hole, bend over, grab my hinge, put it in. Boom, boom. It's held there. The only thing, none of the brackets, and I grab my next one, put it in, grab up my number 3, put it on. And it's already setting. It's all setting there. It's not going to blow in on me. I tell you what, you have your track on the left side completely done. And you have your right side completely done. You already have all your panels made except the one hinge. You ain't got much to do.
Yeah.
You're assembling it. You're just putting it together. It takes me like a half hour once everything's setting in the garage. By myself, non-insulated. Now that I'm 57 years old, I can put a non-insulated in an hour and a half, tearing the old one out.
Dang. That's good. That's good.
And I'm 57.
What are you doing? What are you doing for adjustment though?
Huh?
You got everything pinned tight, or are you leaving stuff sloppy? Because
on a Menards door, you have the little line where it comes out and curves around. That's my mark that I tighten it to. You know what I'm talking, that little L bracket. Yep. You bring it in, bam, I'll nail it. And then I bring the next one down, boom, I put it on that same little line. Rare. It is very rare that you have to make an adjustment. Here's another thing. You can take that vertical track, and once you put the bottom L bracket on and put your flag bracket on, lay it on top of your door panel, everything else will line up to where you can just boop, 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 boop. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
What about Invicta doors though?
Huh?
What about the Invicta doors?
Invicta?
Yeah.
They're already I believe Invicta's, it's pop riveted. So all I have to do is put the vertical, the horizontal together. It's 2 track bolts and a one single bolt to put the 2 together, and then I put the bearing plate on it. That's it.
Nice.
It's slick. I'm telling you, that's the best way to install a door. It's quick. Matter of fact, I went and I hooked up with my old boss last week. I had to get some box truck hinges, and he was installing a door by himself, and we got to chit chat for about an hour. And I said, Lynn, do you still put your door in the old way? Put your vertical up, and then put your struggle and put. He goes, oh yeah, I still do it. Yeah. I said, why don't you do it my way? He says, because I don't like your way. I don't like your way. But you know what? My way, the reason I do it that way is because everything will line up when you're on the floor. You can make everything, your tracks match up beautifully. You can, your bearing plate and your flag bracket all line up really nice. Where if you're doing it all off the ladder,
right.
That's pain in the ass. I build it on the floor, and I can make each track identical.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I'm saying? When you put that on and you put your horizontal on your vertical, and you have like a 1/4 inch gap.
Yeah.
I lock it in, and I can do the same thing to my other one. I can make them identical. That's very crucial. Well, when you're a 20-year vet, you want your shit pristine. You want it to look good. You don't want it to look choppy and crappy and your tracks be offset just a little bit. If you want them to look nice, build it on the floor. If you want them to look like shit and struggle, build them up there off the ladder.
I've done that a lot. Put it on your shoulder.
Take the mic. I can't hockey, but seriously, it's so much easier. Build it on the floor. Yeah. Off your box. Use your box as your table.
Yeah.
Right.
Rusty's asking me what I did to get rid of the gap. I explained it earlier before we went live.
Explain it again.
I'm trying to remember how I explained it.
You said you used a bunch of vice grips and screwed it all up.
No, it was like
chased it back and forth, side to side.
Stuck the bar in the spring
for about 3 hours.
Undid the set screw on the one spring, and then reset the cables on both sides, and then I think we had to undo the torsion, both springs, because the shaft wasn't sticking out all the way. And then I think that was when we eventually got it fixed, I think, after we reset our drums, or where the drums were sitting.
When I got a question, when you took the tension off the spring, did the door go back to the floor?
Yeah, it's like as soon as we undid the set screw, it dropped.
Yeah, right. So that's all you would have had to do then was just re-level your door. At that point, you could have left tension on the springs, just took your bar, put it in there, left it up against the door, do the same to the other one, and then just re-level your drums.
Yeah.
Making sure your hookups, as I call it, are in the same spot. Then tighten back down to the bar, boom, you'd have been back in business.
But I think because we didn't notice till way late that our torsion tube wasn't out of the one plate.
That's good. Notice that, because that could have.
We figured, probably the best way is just to undo it, then shove it.
Yeah.
Do I do it kind of like you, Tony, a little bit? Because now I will only do it if it's kind of like my install. I know I got everything cranked down pretty good, but I'll actually take a permanent marker. I'll actually mark the shaft and the drum, and then I'll actually crack it loose, and I'll wait for it to slip whatever side I need.
Uh-huh.
Now you obviously got to use common sense and be very cautious because obviously something could let loose. But I
Right.
will slip it, you know, and then let the door relax wherever it needs to, and then I'll retighten it back down because you know how it is. Normally, once you already put grooves or dents in that shaft, well, good luck trying to get them out of it, you know.
Right. Well, one thing I was taught, if you clamp the side that you're not working on, and you put that clamp on, and then really tighten that clamp down above that roller, you can totally loosen that drum over here. You totally dump it. And that cable should hold that drum.
Should, right?
Should. I've had it.
Is that also called slipping the cables?
Slipping the drum. I call
it. Because Rusty says he was going to tell me to slip the cables, but he said I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
We might have done that, though, or without realizing.
That's why I'm saying you block off the one side that is down. That should hold your springs.
Yeah.
Always be careful. When I'm slipping the drum, I do it whichever way. I'm holding on it to it so that will take off and go that way and not pinch my hand in it. It's, you know, I'm still afraid to do it.
Yeah.
Because I had it slip real fast. Normally I can get it to come down, and I just sit there and watch the crack as the crack disappears, because it'll, you know, you might have a 4-foot and it just starts going like this. And when it gets to about right here is when I tighten it down.
Yeah.
And I could always stick a Walmart bag in there. But yeah.
Tony, you never used the backer rod?
Huh?
You never use backer rod? I think that's what some guys always say. Use backer rod in there or whatever.
What do you mean backer rod?
I don't know. They use it for concrete. They shove it in there. They talk about using it. I've never carried it. I've always shoved garbage in there, you know, plastic.
In the seal? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't ever recommend putting anything hard as a broomstick, garden hose, nothing like that. Walmart bag, some kind of baggie.
Right.
Winding bar and shove it in. Winding bar, shove it in. Make that expand.
Here's a question for you, Tony. So, thinking about that, I was doing this the other day and I thought, I don't know if I've ever seen it personally move, but I thought when you shove in the weather seal, let's say you leave it, you know, 2-3 inches long, and you know how you roll it up and shove it inside, that basically locks it in, right? I mean, that seal's not going to ever move on you now.
It shouldn't.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen one, you know,
because it normally gets hard.
Right.
And normally it either breaks somewhere, because a lot of times I'm still pulling that out, cutting that off before I can even remove, you know.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times, all right, you know, I like how Clopay, they always run a screw in it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that. You know, then you don't have it stretching on you.
Right.
You know, if you don't have enough seal, you can unroll and it stretch, you know, shrink, I should say.
Right.
Not shrink.
Right. Right. Do you think you have better luck in the winter with weather seal or in the summer? I would assume the winter because it's already shrunk.
Do weather seal in the winter.
Yeah.
I don't do perimeter seal when I sell a door. I hope like hell that perimeter seal is in good shape, because I don't sell it. Because one is so hard to nail up there in the weather we have without I'm fighting it all the time, and I'm, you know, breaking it and what have you.
Right.
I try not to hang that in the winter at all. I'm stocking up now. Matter of fact, I just ordered some today. I've got a couple boxes coming Thursday for perimeter seal. I do all my seal work in the summer, because you know, putting a bottom seal on in the winter, come on now. One, it takes twice as long, and it never seals to the floor.
Right.
Like crap. Looks worse than the one. I've had so many times them say, well, my other one looked better than that. Can you put it back on? No, I cut it down the center. Yeah, so no, I don't do seals in the winter. I try not to. And if I do, I tell the people, you know, it'll seal up come summer.
Right.
It's going to form to the floor come summer. If I do it door, same thing.
Right. Rentals. What do you see in the comments there, Mr. Evan?
Rusty said, Tony, for coil plays, you need to take the screw out and flip the bottom rubber. It will roll up in the trim, is what Rusty said. On the coil plays, I guess you're supposed to take that bottom screw out of the track out, I think, is what he said.
What?
I think maybe it just means roll it up. You get extra.
Tony, for coil plays, you need to take the screw out and flip the bottom rubber. It'll roll up in the trim, is what Rusty said.
I know I've heard Rusty talk about too. I thought I've heard him talk about flipping it, because if it's like from the packaging, how they get those dimples in them.
Yeah.
So maybe he's meaning something like that too, because I never take the screws out.
Yeah, it does take the form of the box.
Right.
Especially in the wintertime. That's the worst. I just tell the customer, hey, it's been in a box for 8 months.
Yeah.
Summer, it'll heat up and form to your floor. That's why we put doors in the summer. Come on, you're dealing with rubber. Rubber's really rough and really.
Do you got another job lined up there?
Rubber is packaged and sticks out past front of the door.
Oh. He's saying it's like got that flip to it, where it'll,
kind of like how this new door did.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It kind of stuck outwards, kind of.
Yeah.
Rich got on here. Rich B, he's got wintertime seal. He says you need to keep it seal on the dash.
Yeah.
With the defrost on.
I used to pop my hood and run it through there.
That's good.
But it's still a pain in the butt. I'll tell you what, that whatever that donkey weenus thing or whatever that helps you feed, that does help.
Right.
That helps in the winter.
What a fourth. Morgan's got a lot of questions, huh?
Yeah, I guess Morgan wants to take part. I don't know what their nickname would be.
Right.
Is Morgan a guy or a girl?
We're running out of nicknames.
We'll find out the sex, and then we can figure out what it would be. It could be the female. It could be Sister Morgan.
Yeah.
Carry a heat gun, Kevin's got.
Yeah, hair dryer works good too, says Rich B.
Dang, man. This guy's got all kinds of fancy stuff. I don't got nothing like that.
Yeah.
I have
not on the truck, anyways. Not on the truck. You got another one, Evan? You got another job kind of coming up the pipeline?
Nothing in the works yet. Coworker asked for a business card saying they knew some people that were getting a garage door that were wanting to get their garage door done, but
nice.
Haven't heard nothing yet.
Nice.
Should be hearing from the builder soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. That is good.
I don't know about that.
Morgan, if you got any questions, like I said, throw them in the comments. As we slow her down now, we can read some of them.
The customer, Rusty, was asking if the customer watched us or not. He was kind of in and out. Like one point, he was working on a generator.
Oh.
But he'd be like, "Hey, you guys need tools? Borrow my tools." We was like, "Well, we just needed this step bit because we couldn't figure out how to get this one bolt out of the old horizontal track." That was about the only thing we borrowed.
Nice.
Morgan says, "I'm a male, but I can also be Sister Morgan."
At least got a good sense of humor.
I don't know. It's like Sam. It could be either or.
Right. Tony, you said you got a few jobs too?
Yeah, I got seal work. Yep. I had a lady call me today. It was funny. She says, "Yeah, I had this critter get in the garage and I paid $245 to get him out." I said, oh, yeah. She said, yeah, the guy said I need a new bottom seal on my garage door.
Ooh.
How much will that cost me? I said, well, it'd be better if I just come out. I said, maybe I can make the operator go closer to the floor and put you a new seal on. She goes, well, I need you out here as quick as you can, because I don't want his cousin coming in. I said, okay, I'll be there tomorrow. I ain't there saying, hey, the food's in here. She got the
right.
She goes, I love your personality. That's just the way I talk to my customers. I treat them as a friend.
No, that's good. That's good. Evan, is that an LED on that garage door opener, or is
that's one of the LED ones.
Okay.
That's the only ones. That's the only battery backups that Chamberlain makes besides the jack shaft.
How much did that opener run?
Customer paid for it. I think it was just under $400.
Okay.
At Home Depot.
And then one thing I've had problems with, it's not the end of the world. It's just something I wanted to bring up for you. I'm always really careful when I lock those things in. I seen it was kind of jarred in there, and I thought the opener kind of freaked out for a second.
Yeah, it kind of freaked out because it didn't click in when I tried to push it.
Yeah,
it was like right there.
Yeah, so just something to be mindful of, because sometimes if you get a cheaper opener, you might blow the plastic piece, or so it's something I'm always,
White.
Yeah, try to be gentle.
I haven't installed anything other than a Chamberlain so far.
You're lucky.
Well, most of the time, normally I'll pick up the opener normally.
Oh, because sometimes they got plastic ones out there, and I've had guys work with me, and they shoved them up, and bam! Also hear something shatter, and it's like, oh my gosh, dude! It's like
White
you just
little thing laying on the floor.
Oh. Yeah, you're like, man, you just broke that.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now what do you do?
So yeah,
and I don't know with the new ones that they freak out.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were saying something. Were you saying something, Evan?
I just said I still have yet to put in a genie, but I thought I cut off Tony.
Oh,
I said you look like a superhero.
Who, me in the video?
Mr. Girl.
He's looking sharp. He just needs a sticker on that door.
Yeah, I still need to get some ordered.
Where are you gonna get them from? Do you get your stuff from like Vistaprint, or what do you?
Yeah, that's where I've been doing them so far.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out how to get a logo done the cheapest without having to pay an arm and a leg for like licensing or whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of had an idea with clip art, but I'm not sure the legality, so I got to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just get some small order right now and just get it so it's, Evan's garage door, whatever, that's better. It's I struggled that when I first started. I had these paperwork, and I was going over with this guy at the print shop, and he said, Dave, you can think about this till, the cows come home. He says, Microsoft has the 1.0, they have DOS, they have Windows XP. He says, there's always different versions. He says, you just got to start with something. He says, you'll figure it out on the next one, what you want improvements on. And so I always remember that. He passed away now, but I always tell myself when I'm doing something, I'm like, you know what? It's as good as what I can do right now. And then once I start playing with it, it's like, now we got the stickers that we write on, that we, put our initials on, and what did we do? Put a date. And those work out pretty good. So, but like I said, even if you just get something,
I'm still trying to find like a template that I can put like a date and time of install and whatever on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you could always just find a local print shop, and tell them, and they'll whip it up for you. And it probably, be a few more bucks than Vistaprint, but they'll just help you out. And
because Vistaprint doesn't have a format that I've found yet that does that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but right now mainly just business cards. But I'll probably order a different set soon, because I've went from blue to following our hockey team colors to black and yellow.
Nice. I used to take clear tape and put them on my business cards, but then I didn't realize, years later you go back, change out the door, work on it, and it would sweat, so it would bleed. So it looked so cheesy. I was like, what a doofus, you know. I said I'm putting business cards. I'd take clear tape and stick them on there because it's all I had.
Yeah, I was thinking about taking my wire stapler and just stapling it on the drywall above the buttons, but I wasn't sure if they'd like that or not.
You got to do like what Tony, he just slips it behind the button. That's probably a better idea.
Yeah. You have to unloosen that screw and then tighten that screw back up so it holds it there and they can't remove it.
Or the wind doesn't blow it off or something.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. What do we got here? What's the comment, Scott? Would you see anything in there?
Where were we?
Today. Low headroom something here. Had to cut the tin.
Morgan had asked, do y'all vary costs for openers drastically for the install difficulty?
Yeah. It varies. Like if it's going to take me 3 hours when it should only take me an hour, yeah, I would charge a little more for sure.
Yeah, I might start charging more if I have to run wire. This one, I was able to just reuse the existing wire. That was the first time I've been able to reuse existing wire completely.
How did you rehook the photo eyes back up? Did you wire none of them? Did you?
I electrical taped it.
Oh, real ghetto. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that way I could easily just tuck it back into the wall.
Need to get caps.
Because this one, this garage is weird because normally most of the garages here they'll get pre-ran with like your thermostat wire. This was just pre-ran. I guess the openers were there, and then I guess I got drywalled later because the other door the wire is all on the outside. I'm not sure what happened with when this garage got drywalled.
And it looked like there was. Is there concrete? Yeah, it looks like there's concrete.
Yeah.
So how'd you mount your bottom brackets? Just go up higher?
Yeah, I just went higher because I didn't have nothing to drill into that, and the old ones weren't mounted that low either.
Right.
Yeah.
Need to order you some track bolts, and you could have drilled out the clips and then track bolted it to the track. You know what I mean?
You talking about the photo eyes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I always snap them on. I haven't had problems with them coming off.
Well, I'm saying like if it looks like they're higher here and here.
They're about a foot off the ground, I think.
We're supposed to be no higher than 6 inches off the ground.
Do you obey that pretty well, Tony? Or
you know,
I eyeball it.
What I do is look in the garage. If there's kids' toys, I definitely make sure it's where within.
That's true.
And then, you know, if they have any animals, I make sure it's within.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they say, "Oh, I don't care," then yeah, I'll put them up higher if I can. You know, I try to supposed to. You know, I try to go by the book on that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah, I try to. I just worry if you mount them, you know how they get a little squirrely on the track. You know, if you mount your brackets up higher, the track gets a little more.
Yeah, I think the concrete was also in the way too. So.
Ooh, gotcha. One of those. You're in between the concrete. You're on the backside.
Yeah.
Probably makes sense because you're sunk in.
Okay, so the concrete's right there along the backside of the track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does make that difficult. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plus then you'd have to worry about that excess wire going into the drywall because it comes out right at the bottom.
Oh, yes.
Try and tuck that away as best you can so it doesn't get caught on a hockey stick or nothing. or a broom for curling.
Evan, what I always recommend in this picture here, you see that red broom handle?
He changed it.
If that falls over, that could jack some shit up.
Oh, yeah, here. Oh, yeah.
I always tell the customers that's a great corner to stack stuff. But if that was to fall over and fall in between your door coming down, that'll cause it to throw a cable. And then once you throw the cable, getting all jacked up.
I didn't even think of that.
I always recommend, I tell them that's free. That was free. This advice here is free.
Yeah.
The rest you're paying for.
Did it come with 2 remotes and an outside keypad, or what did it come with for that
Ours
opener?
ours don't come with keypads. It just came with the 2 3-button remotes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if I want a keypad, I have to buy LiftMaster.
Really?
Were you able
Or
to
Craftsman.
program it to the other door? I assume not, but
I didn't even try, and I have a bunch of 893s in my bag, but I'm not sure if they're the MCs or not. Because I'm not sure how that, because they're not the Security 2.0. You can change the frequency now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna probably
I'm
need
not sure what
Mac.
stuff works.
They will work with each other. It's just the MC. If you change it, the thing is, then your keypad's not going to work if it's not an MC. You follow me?
If it's not an MC keypad,
the MC, a regular what are 887 or something? I don't know the numbers to it.
Yeah, I think it was 877 max.
Yeah, like that. If
the original
won't work. Those will work with the MC. But if you go and change the frequency as the MC can, then yeah, it's no longer going to work. You have to have an MC, but it will work on the one frequency where it won't work on the other. So now you got to buy more parts.
Yeah.
Is what it boils. I think that's why they went to that MC.
Yeah. Well, I have some Max remotes in my bag, the 893s. I didn't even think to offer them.
Yeah, the plain Jane will work as long as they're in that frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see this small door has damage on the bottom panel.
Yeah. They weren't concerned. They just wanted the one door fixed. I don't know if they're planning to redo this other door at some other point.
Yeah, if they had a sticker on the door, they'd probably call you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't call the other people, but then again, they called me on a Saturday.
They'll probably call you on a Saturday for the next door too.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see on this door, they just ran the wire across the ceiling for some reason.
Oh, maybe it got broke or failed, or
I'm not sure because the sensors are ran across the wall too instead of in the wall.
I have a question. What was the total job?
Well, the customer, I sent them the quote for the door, and then they went and paid for it. It was about just over 2,000, I think, for the door. And then they bought the opener extension as well, so I'm gonna guess 500 for that, and then 700 is what my labor and dump run costed. That's what I made.
Yours was 7.
Yeah, that's what I took home.
Yeah, that's not bad.
nope, that's not bad at all. Like I said, especially when you're just learning.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel like trying to deal with half down. I'll just have the customer go pay for it.
Yeah, hell yeah. That way you have nothing in it.
Yeah, they even delivery. I think it was like, I think I have the quote here still.
You have no track record. You have nothing in it.
Yeah,
that cash could go right to the pocket.
Yeah, and that way too, if they change their mind last minute, or you know, that's up to them. They want it delivered or not delivered. Well, they can haul it if they want, or damage it, or
yeah. The door plus delivery was like 20 after taxes. It was like $23.9608.
Oh, Lord. Holy cow.
Well, yeah, because they paid $200 in taxes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome to Canada.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. No kidding, man.
Well, because we have federal sales tax and state provincial sales tax.
That's about right. I mean,
so it's about 12%, I think. If I
remember. How do they get your health care? How do they get that health care out of you?
Just our federal taxes, if I remember my civics correctly. Yeah.
Dang. And no pow-pows, right? Everywhere, no pow-pows.
Well, you can have hunting rifles, but yeah, no Second Amendments, and our crime is crazy up here.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah, I should send you some of this stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, the last couple days, people are showing up on like acreages with firearms and shit.
Wow.
Oh, Tony, you'll get. I'll have to send you this video. Someone drove through someone's garage, smashed up this old car, wrecked an 8550.
Dang.
Was just terrorizing this family until the cops came by 12 minutes later.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd be getting me a gun.
Yeah, you'll go to jail for longer than the guy who broke into your house.
Jeez.
That's freaking crazy. That's effed up, man. Tell you what,
Election in a couple weeks. I'm not hopeful.
you break into my house, you're gonna meet Dan.
Yeah, I'm not calling the cops, but I'm not gonna go any further than that.
357 in your face.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. No, it looks good, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely for what it was. It wasn't even the perfect opening either. It was kind of a botched opening.
Well, I'm not even sure about botched because that's where all the drywall's. The drywall is cut out for like the door and the drums.
Mm-hmm.
Because the brackets, what were they called for the track brackets?
The flags or what?
Yeah, the flag brackets. They were drywalled over as well.
Oh,
yeah. You need to get one of those oscillating saws that has that, and you can cut that drywall right out real nice when you have those run into that shit.
Yeah.
I hate when they got the drywall. What would have been nice, Evan, if you would have just added in some 1x4s and went over and just sheeted over top of that with 1x4s.
Yeah.
Right there. Went all the way to the ceiling. That would have made your life so much easier.
Yeah.
They had a clean start,
And I think the new opener is mounted pretty tightly too, because I couldn't go any higher with the new mounting bracket. Because there was a gap.
Yep. You're missing the header.
Yeah. Well, I'm in what's there, but there. Yeah,
right.
If they put another one in there, I could have went a little higher.
Right.
Because when I didn't have the opener connected, and before I put the arm on, it kept hitting the trolley when I lifted the door manually.
Oh yeah.
Like the inner trolley.
That's why when you build the opener, you always put the trolley to the back.
Yeah, I left it at the very front.
Yeah, I do the same thing all the time, and then
I built it like a lift master rail,
and it hits it. Yeah, I've done that so many times, and I know better.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? You talking about leaving the trolley back there?
Well, normally when you put the screw
back, you know how you always leave it to the front?
Yeah.
You put that screwdriver in and it's like halfway.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Put the trolley all the way to the back. It's funny, but that's technically how you're supposed to build an opener. You're supposed to have the trolley to the back. You call in, and they'll ask you, is it up front or in the back? It's on a belt driven. This is what the lady told me.
Huh.
It's supposed to be to the back. You're supposed to have within 2 inches. 2 inches. You can have up to 2 inches of sag in that belt. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. I'm like, no way. I said, that thing's going to jump all around. She says, no. You got it too tight. That's why it's not running. I said, bullshit. I loosened that thing up. The thing took off. Started running. Belt too tight.
Yeah, I think you told me the story about what Paige was on a job too.
Yeah.
And I was having that problem. I would never believed it. Never believed it.
Yeah. No lie, man. She told me that belt's supposed to be sagging. I'm like, what? I hate when that stuff's just dangling there.
Yep.
It's like all belt drives are Stanleys.
Right. Dang, that's crazy.
that operator in there that said Steelcraft or whatever, that's the LiftMaster.
Yeah, I know.
That looks just like the LiftMaster. Looks
Yeah,
like
so
was 971 LM or something.
This one had a
Secure.
3-button.
Yeah.
They gave me a 3-button Steelcraft remote.
That looks like the
Out of
purple.
973, the
purple
older
square.
version of it.
oh, purple learn button.
Yeah.
Red learn button.
What color?
Oh,
Red learn button, and this one had the Generation 1 sensors.
Okay.
The other door had the old clip-on sensors.
Yeah, it looks just like a LiftMaster. Probably used my gear sprocket assembly.
Yeah.
My trolley. It looks like a LiftMaster rail.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I pulled my before Christmas. I pulled out and I think it was 1150, 1160 Steelcraft.
Yeah.
That was when I did that head swap.
What you want to do is start saving those rails.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, the customer wanted to keep it, but
Yeah.
I was like, I want that head.
Start saving those rails, and then you can take and put that on a crafts or not on a Chamberlain from
Yeah, I've seen that once.
driven. That'll bolt right up. Use that separator in there. Put that on there. That'll bolt right up.
Yeah, I did that once in the winter because I didn't feel like freezing in the garage trying to build the square rail.
Yeah, hell, and you did your customer a favor. Now they have a solid shaft.
Yeah.
The tube shaft that can mushroom and jam up. That was my selling point.
Yeah.
Why you want a big box store when they have all those seams in there?
Yeah. Well, that's the best I can do until I can figure out how to get LiftMaster without going to the mom and pop shop, because why give them my money?
Yeah. 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 I'd just start when you rip them things down, I'd save that rail. Hell, if you had to clean it up and paint it.
Yeah. Actually, that one didn't look too bad. It was actually
Looks
fairly
great.
good condition.
Looks really good. The trolley looks good.
I think the gear might have been on the way out, I think, because the way the chain sagged.
Should let me know. I'll send you a gear.
Yeah.
I'll send you parts. Yeah.
But yeah, you can see in this picture the mounting. It's they drywalled around. They cut around so that they could bolt it into the beams.
Oh.
So if I had any other opener, that would have been a pain in the butt to try and redo.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they have a cutout in the ceiling for the angle iron, and
You just move your angle iron that's dropped. You don't move the one that's up top.
But I was saying if I had any other opener that was different spacing, that would have been a pain in the butt to move. Like if it was wider or smaller.
If it would have been like smaller, I'd have had an angle. I wouldn't have moved that stuff off the ceiling.
Yeah. Or if I had to put in, if for some reason I was installing a Wayne Dalton Quantum, that would have been a nightmare.
I've had it where the head unit is spun. That's gotten me a few times where I didn't catch it. And they actually, the lights are on the side versus, that bites me. Or the genies. Sometimes they had, the old genies. Remember they had the mounts on the front.
Front. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, so I could see where, looking at this now looking at it. Yeah. If you were detailing this, it's like, I would have been sitting there going, we're going back with another LiftMaster Chamberlain on this one, but those are things that you easily overlook, you know what I mean? And then you're there at the job, really, grinding your teeth going, how are we going to fix this? Or I probably like with Tony, I probably would just said, c'est la vie and widen that puppy out or narrow it up,
Well, here's what you could do. You could take another piece of punched angle at the top, put it on there, and then run one across the ceiling.
Oh,
punched angles and bolt them together.
Sure.
Then you'd put your screw drive genie in there.
Yeah.
We don't get genie screw drives up here. We only get the Chamberlain style rails.
Who wants a genie? Genie.
And I'm glad I caught this when I put the door in, but I guess the one mount for the track, it started ripping out of the ceiling.
Ooh.
So I just put a new bolt in it.
Yeah, there you go. Lagger back up.
Now I was just thinking, did you put bolts in the back of that track?
Yeah.
You know, those stoppers?
This one had little cutouts.
Huh, the new one?
Can you zoom in a little closer? If not, I could probably do it on the iPad.
So,
just at
like
the
I'm
very
just
end.
saying, like on your horizontal track.
Yeah, on the horizontal zoom in
Did you
on
put
that.
they got a hole in the back? Did you put like a 5/16 bolt in there to stop
There's
the
like
door?
there's like a little cutout. I'm not sure if it's on this one or if you have to go to the new one.
I don't know if we got a new one that'll show that.
Let me see. I should be able to pull it up. But there was like a little cutout that you could bend over.
We should be able to see it. I see something there.
Hold on.
I see something like a little punch or something. They must
Yeah, it looks like there is
something there. Huh. I guess I never knew that. I never seen one where you could flare it out. I guess it makes sense.
I'll see if I can get this on the screen.
Oh, yeah. What is that little goofy thing? I'll be darned. It tips
Yeah,
down.
it was like a little punch out.
Ah,
what?
look at that cute little thing.
What?
They got the good stuff up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of similar ordeal to that tab you have to do on the Chamberlain rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that tab now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like your bolt for the back.
Yeah, it bows the door the opposite way.
Huh.
That's actually pretty smart.
That is pretty smart.
Yeah, because that
I don't even think the old door had that, and it's the exact same model.
No,
That's
I don't
pretty
think so.
slick. I mean, how many times you have that where the door's bowed in the middle? I mean, they'll come from the factory bowed already.
Yeah.
And that would eliminate that. You could just set it and bend it right back out.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's pretty slick. Now I figured that out. That's pretty slick.
That is weird. That is weird.
What you do is you just adjust it out. You adjust it out, and that'll put the pressure in.
Yeah.
Pioneer. Hello, Pioneer. I see Pioneer overheads there.
Oh yeah.
Sorry
I
for...
turn my comments off. Hold on a sec.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Like I said, maybe we'll give her to whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here trying to pick apart some of this.
Into it.
What was that, Evan?
Rich said to look at the sprocket to see if it has a lead to it. So I think when I said that the gear might have been going.
Yeah, it's very common. I screwed up many times when a greenhorn, where I seen the chain dragging, or sagging, and I thought, oh, I'll be a good person, a good little doobie for this customer. And I go up there and I tighten it, and like 2 or 3 days later, they're calling me, hey, you know how you're out here? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, the chain came off. Really? I go out there, the whole thing's busted off. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, they already wanted the upgrade, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I just like telling the newer guys or like yourself, just, hey, make sure you take a look at that, because if you see any kind of graphite up there, shavings, it's on its way out. Just leave it alone. Don't even touch it,
No, make note. Let the customer know. Write it on the ticket.
Yeah.
Your sprocket showing wear.
Yeah. And I don't know who installed these motors, but on the small door, they put the case on backwards.
Oh.
The holes are on the wrong side.
Maybe they're already in there changing a gear or something, and because I've been there. I've never left one, but I've been to like the last couple screws, and I'm like, son of a biscuit, and especially when you got set limits and you got the cover on backwards.
I'm like, why is this one not looking together?
Right.
Well, a lot of people will take their sticker and stick it over the open and close holes.
Yeah.
Oh.
They'll stick it over that so you don't know how to make the adjustment.
Oh, that's a good. I never thought of that.
That before.
Ah.
Or I got to punch my screwdriver through, and then and they're like, I never knew that was there. I said, yeah, this guy did that on purpose, so you'll call him.
Right. Then it makes kind of hard for a technician, because like for me, right off the top of my head, I mean, I think the open's forward or something, but it's now which way is it, I got to pour more of the sticker off looking at what the symbols are,
Yeah.
Unless I pull the cover off, which a lot of times too, Tony, do you kind of do that? Like whenever I have to do a gear kit, I typically just leave the cover off. in case there's any malfunctions and I can watch things. And then sometimes I'll even spread a little more grease on it, but I like to set my limits right there where I can watch them.
Yep.
Because I've had too many times I put the cover all back on, and you know how sometimes you gotta clean off that terminal.
Yep.
You know, with a like a razor blade or something. But
Yep.
I had too many times I put the cover back on and I'm like, crap, something's not right. You know, or you pinched a wire, done that before, pinched a wire, powered up, shorts out.
Training my guy today on that, and I told him, when you're doing either you know, gear sprocket or the old style not a travel modular, but what is it now, the old one, limit control.
RPM sensor.
No, the limit control. When you're doing that, if you're doing any kind of adjustment there, I always turn it in a little bit, and you know, the top and the bottom, bring them in, so I know I'm not going to go too far.
Yeah.
I said, always when you're doing this, if you don't have it open, have a hand on the plug, hit the button, and be ready.
Yep.
Because I've had them bend the top panel. I've had it throw the cables off coming too far back. You know, because you don't. A lot of people get up there and turn it, and then they don't tell you, and you hit the button and you go, and it'll drive too far and jam up against the bolt up top. And then you got
or there's no bolt there.
You know, so yep, always have your hand ready. Unplug that baby.
Yep, that's for sure.
Yep.
And then how do you unjam yours, Tony? Do you seem like you did something different than what I used to do?
What I do, like the old style, what I'll do is I just crack it loose and then just, you know, move the chain around the sprocket. The new style, you don't have to worry about the jamming. You can usually operate it out of it. I jammed one today on purpose. I took the travel modular, I unplugged it and let it get back. And then we plugged that back in. I was just having them trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And it came hit. And I was like, oh, now you're screwed. Well, we plugged that in and I was able to drive right out of it.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I like that.
That is pretty cool.
Did it give you that buzzing sound?
Well, if you got the buzzing, then you're going to have to break it loose.
Yeah, I had to do that on one of my last spring jobs because I guess it must have broke when the door was going up and the slide went all the way to the bolt and wouldn't move.
Yeah, then now you do have to jam. Yeah, when it buzzes, then you have to go do it like the old way, break it loose. And
well, I guess on the new ones they'll lock out, and if you click the button, it'll just flash at you. Like if you trip the safety sensor, but it was like, yeah, nothing was moving.
So on those older ones, the way I did it is I'd actually take the cover off, like the one that's here in this picture. I'd take the cover off, and then I'd actually take a pair of pliers, vice grips or whatever, and I'd grab the motor. There's just a little, 1/4-inch stub sticking out of the motor, and I'd twist the motor, and I'd back that thing off, and then I'd make sure I clean that terminal off, and I'd make sure that screw's touching for the next motion that it's got to go. That way I didn't have to take the chain off or anything.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That's how I cheated.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Plus I'm in there. Now I'm in there. I can see what's going on. I can, did it pass it? Was it just off? Was somebody else's hands in here? Because obviously I jacked that one up, that Performance Max I was just working on, that last video I had. I wham, went right into it. God darn it.
Another way, if I'm trying to figure out where the limits are and I don't take the cover off, I'll pop the chain off, hit the button, and then trip it.
Yep.
And if it trips and goes back up, then I know it's at the top position, and just when it stops, I know where I need to be, and I bring the door up.
Yep. So, that's what I was trying to do with that Performance Max. That's why I kept walking down the stairs, and then it was I think you were asking Evan about it blinking, and I'm like, what the heck? Why is it blinking? I didn't even cross the photo eye yet. And then it was obviously a force setting. I wish I would have, as we got it running, I wish I would have crossed the photo eye to see if it would still blink like the old school LiftMaster, because I really missed the blinking. The blinking was, it was so easy for me to diagnose over the phone with customers. I could always just tell them, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, with the older, like this probably model here, I mean, only reason it would ever blink is a photo eye. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think the force would make it blink. It was always a photo eye.
I think sometimes a failed RPM would also cause it to blink. I think if I remember correctly.
Usually a failed RPM, it's a 6-inch move.
That's yeah. It just moves and freaks out.
Stop. Move and stop.
Right.
Move, stop.
Right. I just knew it was always a custom to me that if it's blinking or it's clicking, it's automatic. It's a photo eye, you know, and I could always tell the customer pretty much over the phone, you know, sometimes I tell them, you got to get on your belly and really look at that thing. If it's got any kind of movement, you know, a little flitter, oh, and they call me back or, yeah, we got it fixed. Oh, good. You know, I don't have to charge you a service call.
Yep.
Where the new ones, I mean, I do like the LEDs on them, but I miss the blinking.
I don't.
Yeah, no, the blinking I was asking you about, Dave, was like it seemed like in the video the light was just turning on and off randomly as you're not running nothing.
Huh. Could have been.
I don't know. That's just what the video looked like, but yeah, it just looked like the open light was just constantly turning on and off.
I didn't notice that. Maybe it was.
I don't like how you can't do any programming until you get your photocells hooked up on the new one. Can't do nothing.
Gotcha.
I mean, you could always jerry rig a pair.
Well, yeah, you could. Yeah, I have a pair that together, but
can you like give us like a scenario where you would need that? Because I can't think of nothing right off the top of my head where you'd want to, you know, run it without the photo eyes or something. Or
I always do.
Do you?
Oh yeah, you want to go out.
Oh,
something out of the truck.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's there.
Right.
You go to lift it up and your door hits the trolley.
Ooh.
The second part of the trolley.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The old style, you could open the door and then get the fuck out. Or, excuse me.
Oh, yeah. I got you. I know what you mean. You got a tight situation. I mean, every,
Yeah. But yeah.
I never thought of that.
I just kind of I like doing things different, while Paige was running the photocells or whatever, I'd sit there and get half of it done, half programmed, and all I have to do is plug in the wires and boom, then we could do the last step. You can't do that shit now.
Yeah.
You wait till it's all.
I wanted to just move the trolley, and I couldn't even do that until I got the
I don't like that.
I think my biggest pet peeve so far has been the fact that I can't make adjustments. I gotta go through the whole cycle again. You know what I mean? That really irritates me because I know an inexperienced person or myself, even on a hot summer day, I haven't seen one of these lock up yet, but I'm assuming they'll still do it like the old ones, you know?
Yeah. About 11.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm worried about that. You know what I mean? Like I had the one and I'm just fighting the down, you know what I mean? Oh, that's too much. That's too little. And then I'm like, I got to run this thing all through these cycles again.
Yeah, the DC motors don't seem to do that. I've never had a problem. It's mainly just the AC, like half horsepower, is that where you got to be a bit more finicky with it.
Have you locked up one yet, Tony?
Locked up.
Like overheat?
Well, just a week or two ago, I burned up a freaking Genie, brand new.
Dang.
Burn it up. I had to order a new board.
Oh.
And it was basically because I ran it too much. The door was running. It was an easy set door. The door was in very bad shape. She wanted a new one. It was one of those long distance losers, and I didn't want to be the loser. So I said, sure, I'll do it. I can make this thing run. Shit, I burned the board up.
Oh.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, oh, you got a bad one out of the box. So she called them up. They replaced it, and I had to drive back out, replace the board, but I got it to work finally. But yeah, if you don't put the love into the door, If you don't put the love into the door, you're going to burn up that opener. That's why I asked you, Evan, how's that door bound? If it's balanced, you might not burn it up that day, but it'll burn up. If you good balanced door, it will. Nowadays, these pieces of shit they have out there where they're running everything off the board. Personal.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of crummy too that we got a that Performance Max too. The guy even, made a mention. He says, did you change the wall button? And I'm like, I didn't do the original install. And so, I mean, it sounds like that stuff's just starting to come across the board, for everything. It's like you got to have everything's got to have the right photo eyes. It's got to have the right wall button. Kind of a bummer.
That
jack shaft, the red black jack shaft opener. What is that? The 3900?
39, 38, 85.
39. I don't even know what that. I've never heard that one.
Oh, I listed a bunch of them. That's not one big number.
That I just replaced the wall button. I put a green wall button on it, just a single button, and it wouldn't program to my remote. I had to replace it. That does program to the that it was an 888 LM wall button that ran that jack shaft opener.
Yeah.
It does program to the wall button.
But that was just that specific model that they did that on, I think, because I don't know why they did it like that. That
888 is now an 889 LM wall button.
Yeah.
And if you remember when you ran those jack shaft openers, you'd plug it in, and then the opener had to power up. It had the red light on it, and it'd sit there and power up. About after 15 minutes, it'd beep beep, and then you could actually run and program stuff. Remember how you ever?
Mm-hmm. Because you could put an 88 or an 889 on this, and it would work the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they built it like that and just didn't put a normal MyQ board in that thing when they made it. Because it was more or less just like a crappier 3800.
Yeah.
And you guys see the SOS? I guess he had a Genie jackshaft opener. I guess they were notorious, the new ones that came out, for spitting out gears or cracking in them. And I was just, all I kept thinking, I was watching the video, I was thinking, this is why I do not like to be the guinea pig for new stuff. I thought,
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Genie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they got their, like I said, the only thing I really like is their screw drives. That's about but I don't even like, obviously, I don't like the ones that they're selling at the store. Those piece together rails sound like they're just, I haven't done one, but they sound worse than even Chamberlain. But the professional ones, for the screw drives, I haven't replaced one yet. I mean, knock on wood, or had any problems, or I just like that they're fast. They're pretty solid. There's nothing clanking. You can slam them up to the ceiling. That's the only thing, but like I said, are they, the one all be all? No. I mean, when I go to customers and they're going to buy box store stuff, I'm always telling them, I'm like, buy a Chamberlain, because they're going to have, best tech support. They're going to have whatever features they want, Wi-Fi, all the goodies, it's basically, I don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? But when I get somebody that gets into that like little bit bigger door, like that pole barn, like that 12 by 12, I'm like, yeah, they don't really want to do a commercial style opener. And they're like, well, I still want a light, and I want, maybe some kind of, something tech savvy a little bit on it. I'm like, let's go with this Genie screw drive. I'm like, it'll work good for you. It's got power, but they're prone. I'm sure they're still prone to lightning strikes. The boards and stuff in them are kind of on the weak side. I don't know if Cap knew something. I don't. He gave me a surge protector for that one LiftMaster I just installed. I don't know if he's just doing it across the board for all of them. I don't know if these surge protectors, we don't really have any history that's like, oh, these have saved, I haven't gone to any houses that I've known even to where they're like, well, we lost a microwave, we lost a fridge, and, but the garage door, we're probably not going to get a call, because the garage door, if it is working, we won't know. So it's only when it's not working.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be a problem up here.
Oh, the power surges.
Yeah, we'll get power outages, but I've never heard of anyone needing to replace their opener because the power fried it.
Huh.
Oh, I've had a lot of lightning strikes.
Yeah, that's what we get too.
Board power surges will blow a board. Yeah, I highly recommend a surge protector. I actually sell them.
Does Chamberlain still make them? I haven't seen them in a while.
Hang on a second. Oh.
I thought they went out the same way that Parking Laser went.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to see what Tony's got too, because I don't even know what we got. It's just some generic one, it's a little black box. I don't have one, but nothing fancy. But I couldn't tell you if it's good or bad, or you got to spend more money on one to get a good one, or you can just buy these ones and I guarantee it type of thing. Or I haven't had enough data or proof, or and like I said, if they do work, we probably don't get a call. You know what I mean? Maybe because it's still not working. We got to replace the surge protector. That'd be nice to find some of those.
Look at that. What's that?
Oh, the Genie. Maybe I've seen the Genie ones. But...
The Genie.
I didn't ever see that before. Oh no.
Tony. Oh, where is he?
There it goes. I hit the wrong one.
Menards, $10.
Nice. Awesome. Surge, huh? I don't think I've seen those at Lowe's.
Have you seen the Chamberlain LED bulbs?
I don't think I've still seen any LiftMaster or Chamberlain bulbs.
I haven't seen a LiftMaster one. I've seen at Home Depot they have Chamberlain bulbs.
Huh.
I think they're right next to the Genie ones if we have them, if I'm remembering correctly.
It's really weird because if you go to Lowe's, I don't know how I found this out, but if you go in the light bulb section, they're made by GE too. They're actually garage door light bulbs and they're cheaper. I think they're like $8 or something and some change versus 10 and some change for the Genie ones over by the garage door. So now it's like, so I looked the other day, I was trying to, because it's weird if you guys out here watching this stuff too, if you read the boxes on those LEDs, it says that it can possibly interfere and stuff. So it's like, now have I installed just regular light bulbs and gotten away with it? Yes. But when there's those certain customers that are a little farther away than I like, or jobs that I really don't want to make another return to ever, I'd rather spend a few more dollars and make sure I'm getting 100% the correct light bulb, because I really don't want a phone call saying, hey, that opener installed 2 days later, I've noticed the remote's not working, because I don't know how. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've had them work just fine. And a day or two later, a month, something starts acting weird and you're running around trying to figure out what's going on with these LED light bulbs. But the ones, they don't say anything. They're a little bit cheaper at Lowe's if you buy in the light bulb section. But sometimes even I still will spend a few more dollars and go with the Genie one just to hopefully. But I've heard rumors. I don't know this for sure, but the CEO or whoever, the president, used to be a GE electric light bulbs or whatever. He went over to Genie, is now the CEO. So, when I heard that, well, why wouldn't he make light bulbs? That's where he came from. So maybe he had a little in on it too. Like, hey, I used to work for you guys and I could get you some more business. And
I used to work for Big Light Bulb.
Right. So I don't know if it's true or whatever, but I thought, it would not surprise me. How do we have, who do we have? Is it Jim Farley running? That used to be Chris Farley's whoever, for, running Ford. Not trying to hate on you, Tony, about your Fords, but, I think Ford's got the most recalls right now or something. Come on, man. What's up with this wet timing belt or whatever, the wet oil pump belt, that's disintegrating.
Next to Kia's.
Right. Right. Hey, that's why, like I said, I'm always just looking for the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry basket. They're all dirty.
Yeah.
That video you guys sent me the other day, it's all the vehicles out there.
It is. But I just, when I hear that, so I hear Scotty talk about it, Scotty Kilmer talk about, maybe I think it's Chris Farley or whatever, and it's Jim. I think it's Jim Farley. I don't know if it's a relative or who he is, but he's part of that actor. and they're like, maybe he needs to go. He needs to quit running Ford, So, but no, I always heard about the Chamberlain light bulbs and stuff. But like I said, it does make me nervous. I was even looking the other day at the store, and I thought, maybe Mr. T will bring back some. Can we just get some standard light bulbs? I mean, I was literally just looking. I'm just like, I want the old, standard light bulbs that you burn your hands on. I can't. You can't buy them. They're illegal. So that's what I was looking for. I want.
Yeah, this was the first LED Chamberlain I put in that had the built-in light. I don't know. Yeah. It seemed pretty bright to me.
Yeah, I've got a Chamberlain LED over here, and then that one is just a regular.
Yeah, but this was like one of the new UFO looking ones.
Yeah. I see when it was running. I kind of thought, I was like, I don't know if I like. I mean, I think they make ones with lights all the way around, but I thought, I don't know if I like the light in the back or, I think
I like the LiftMaster version better in terms of looks.
Oh, gotcha.
What's it? 87504.
Okay.
Whenever they have replaced the 8550. I seen there was one on Facebook, an 8550 for $200 used. I was like, I should go get that.
Right.
Yeah, this one just had the one light, no camera.
Oh, see, that's Tony's got the gel connectors you need.
It's better than electrical tape.
Now, Tony, there's a little difference. So if you get those orange ones, I carry both. I carry those red ones and the orange ones.
What are the orange ones? They wider hole?
They're just a hair. They will accept the wire sometimes.
Where do you get those at?
They were right next to those ones, normally at Lowe's. Yeah, they're right next. I keep them in the same bin mixed together. I have orange and I have the red ones because those ones are nice if you need to working on gate operators and stuff and whatever else.
Rusty says those things suck.
I love them.
Yeah. And then Rich, he's got those what do they call the Wagos or whatever? He's rich, so he's got money.
Yeah.
You ever use those? They got the clips.
We call him Richie Rich.
Rusty's saying I had to tape my slices. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know if he means like the tape over both connections or what.
Anybody know how these work? Have they work very well?
Yeah, I heard SOS had a video on it. I guess they only last 4 days, and you got to change the batteries on them or recharge them.
I know I recharge it. Yeah, I'm avoiding selling those to people just because of the cold weather.
I didn't get time. I was gonna make a video with SOS video on it, and I was gonna read the instructions on it or find out if it's really 4 days. I thought 4 days. I thought, who in their right mind has in 4 days to recharge your battery on your camera thing? And I thought that just sounds ridiculous.
They might as well just go back to the old days of having it hardwired.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Does it say anything on there about that, Tony? They probably don't disclose that because
rechargeable battery.
Oh, great. But every 4 days, I just thought.
And what's the temperature they tell you to avoid? What's it like, negative 10 degrees Celsius?
Oh my gosh.
Fahrenheit here.
So, I mean, I don't understand how that even so typically you're going to mount that inside the jam. I know you don't have to. So, I mean, aren't you just better off going with a Ring camera?
I would think.
Yeah, I think the Ring camera. I think my neighbor did that. He's got like a Chamberlain 877. He's just got like a little Ring camera above it.
Yeah, I can't. When I seen that, about fell over my chair. 4 days. I thought, there's no way. I must be hearing this wrong. 4 days. So you gotta, and it only comes with one battery, I'm assuming. So you really need to buy another battery. Because who wants to go out there and tear it apart?
There's a battery.
Only one though, right?
Looks like an old phone battery.
Whoa. Gosh, that's a hefty battery. You think it'd last longer than. Wow.
Yeah. There's your instructions. One piece.
Jeez.
QR codes. Great.
Yeah, right. My phone doesn't have no Wi-Fi where I'm at or signal. I'm trying to scan this thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what it's like putting together the new openers.
But you gonna sell that thing, Tony? You're gonna hook it up at the house?
Well, I have 6 of them.
Well, they only last 4 days or what?
I don't know. You're telling me for it. I didn't know that.
Or you don't have them? You don't actually have them working. You just have them.
Yeah. I have 6 of them. There for a while they ran this deal per house. You could get 2 per house, $50 a piece.
Dang.
Oh, I have some houses, so every house
Sure.
I like 6 of them. I can get them for $50. Hell, they sell for 100.
Right.
So, now I'm sitting on 6 of them that go dead in 4 days. I hear.
Golly, I
Well,
could not
Rusty
believe
says
that.
4 days in warm California, 4 hours in winter where all of us live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out.
Oh man.
I might have some on eBay.
Put it on the door with your 8500. See how long it lasts for. Or is it an 8500 or 98022 on your one door?
Well, the one I have a 980222, the new one, battery
Yeah,
back.
that's the one I meant.
Yeah, and then I have the other one that has I don't even know what it is, 3900 or whatever.
I think a 3900 would still have been 315. So I think it's an 85 you have on that other door.
Is it 85?
Yeah, because I think a 39 still would have had a purple learn button.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep. It's probably 85. But man, it's running good. The doors hasn't been open, so it was the wall button. I got it used.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could have put another receiver, external receiver, on if you wanted to keep that green green button hooked up.
No, I just went and spent $55 and got me the right button.
Yeah,
$55 for a wall button. Crazy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Tanner's got LiftMaster. He's got the Maximum. He said openers sell wireless photo eyes. Might come in handy someday.
I thought that was only a UK thing.
Probably not. It's my guess.
Wire photo eyes. Shit. The ice problems with that.
No.
Problem after problem after problem.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Oh. Well, you did good. Evan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think that's a good note to wrap up on.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody, got to do a little worky tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for bed.
What time is it?
10 o'clock here. What's it, 11? Your guys' time?
Yeah. Well, make sure you guys make sure, Evan, you put in your YouTube so they.
I think I did this time on my thing.
Did you?
For my display name.
I put it at least in the description, so it's there. But you guys definitely need to check out his channel. Make sure you subscribe.
Door service.
I don't know if Morgan's still here. Maybe we'll have to get Morgan. We'll have to get some more questions from him.
Yeah, I think Morgan wanted to come on and be a part of this, but I guess if Morgan will have to email you if Morgan's still listening and get that set up.
Yeah, I'm not real. Like I said,
I'm not
on the fly for that kind of stuff because I probably could have done it because you guys were doing pretty good.
Yeah,
holding the ground, and definitely appreciate Rusty getting in there and doing some of the comments and stuff because I know we missed a few, more than a few.
Yeah, we were.
Which this is all learning, so we apologize. At least for me.
But hey, at least the computer didn't crash this time.
That is true, and I better let you guys know too that if it ever does, you should be able just to go back into your email. That's how I figured out how to do it the one time when it crashed. And you guys are running the show. I found out after you guys got off. I re-engaged into it. I didn't want to do it and knock you guys off, but yeah, I forgot about that. Boy, we lost some excitement. Gosh, I could have already went to bed by now.
Yeah.
What you got, Tony? You want to say goodbyes?
Yeah. don't forget to look at my channel at Tony's Garage Door Service, Papa Tony. I
That's
appreciate
right.
y'all being on here and looking at the beautiful job Evan did over there in Canada.
That's right.
Cousin Evan.
Thank you, guys.
Like hanging out with you and Uncle Dave here. Hate you both. And I don't know, Papa Tony out.
Hey Tony, before you sign off, just let me end it out. I'm going to see if we can still stay on. I'm just curious, just for information. But you want to say your goodbyes, Evan?
Yeah, cousin Evan, Evan's Garage Door Service. Subscribe, please.
He needs the support. Give him some support. He's a
38,
young lad trying
more.
out.
Yeah.
How many you got, Evan?
38 right now is what I last looked at.
12 to go.
So I'm almost there.
12 more. You can make it live. Come on.
We got to get him up, man.
Get
Yeah,
him.
maybe next install we can go live.
There you go. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And always, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. You know, Uncle Dave always appreciates it. Make sure you keep your fingers. Make sure you have a good rest of the week. We'll see you on the next one probably. And otherwise, have a good night.
That's right.
Peace.
See ya.
Papa Tony out. Thanks, guys.